Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to take a look at Dice Manor. Dice Manor is a 2 to 4 player game published by Arcane Wonders. In Dice Manor, you're basically an architect, and you're going to be building this building, and you're trying to do it in the most innovative way to gain the most points and become the most innovative designer. So let's go ahead down the table. I'll show you how this game plays, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to give you my final thoughts. All right, so this is Dice Manor. World-renowned property developers Mundane Manor Inc. are tired of making the same old boring dream homes. The corporate suits are looking to rebrand, and they have challenged their designers to dream big and create the most lavish home ever imagined. Money is no object, and the designer who is able to build and market the most magnificent house will be promoted to Chief Inspiration Officer of the company. Over 4 rounds, players will use their dice to bid for blueprints, earn advertising space, collect inspiration tokens, and give early tours of the manor. At the end of the game, all players hold a grand opening of their completed manor in hopes of earning the most praise from their community. The player with the most prestige points is the winner at the end of the game. All right, so setup of the game is very simple. You're going to give each player a cheat sheet. You're going to give each player 7 of their dice. You're going to give each player a starting room. This is their entrance. See with the little door here. And you're going to give them 2 plus/minus tiles, and someone is going to be selected as the first player. The owner of the game can select who's first player, or you can use a different means. You'll put one of their color houses on this side here, and you'll put 2 of their dice over here. You'll put their scoring cubes here, showing that they're starting at 0. You'll shuffle up each of the types of tiles, and then you'll place 1 face up in each of the corresponding locations here. This will make up the market that people can bid on. This one was key, water, and TV. All right, so that is how to set up Dice Manor. Now let's get into how to play. All right, so let's go over how to play the game. You're going to go over 4 different rounds, and each of the rounds is going to have 4 different phases. You're going to have a bid phase, a collect phase, and a build phase, and a reset phase. So for your bid phase, it's pretty simple. You're just going to roll your dice, and you're going to group them by the same number. So I have 2 4s, I have 2 2s, I have a 1, a 3, and a 6. Now I can use my plus/minus tokens here to up or lower my dice if I want. To make them match, but I could do that on later rounds too. So I could be a little tricky about it. So what you're going to do is you're going to actually have 3 different places you can bid on. So bid or give a tour. So basically what I can do is I can take and I can place dice that match. So this is 2 4s, that'll be 2 dice on a building location if I want to get a building location. Or I can place them here in the advertising location, or I can give a tour here. And we'll go over to that in a minute. That's not necessarily bidding, but that's going to be using my dice to gain points. So if I place 2 here, in later turns, someone comes around and places a 6. Well, these 2 are numerically higher because I have 2 dice, and this is only 1 dice. The number on the die doesn't matter unless there's a tie. Now, if on a future turn here, someone comes around and they place 2 6s on here, this is now higher. And you're going to keep sorting this to show who's the highest. The same thing's going to work for this area here. So in this area here is a little different. This area I'm bidding for tiles to pick up. This area here I'm bidding to move advertising forward. So if I put 2 2s here and this player puts a 3, they'll be behind me. So this will be here. But then this player comes around, and let me make these numbers actually match here. They put out, let's say, 3 3s. What will happen here is these will all scooch down. So this will move down, this will move down, and this will move down. And you'll kind of keep doing that for every time someone bids on there. The other thing you could do is later on when you have more buildings on here, you can give tours. So let's say I did have this building here, and I had 2 1s. I could put a 1 here and a 1 here. And that's because this one has the question. So that means that I have gave a tour here for 2 spaces. So if you look at the book here, if I placed those 2 dice, I would have gained 2 prestige points immediately. Now, if I had another location here, and I placed, these had to be lining up so the doorways line up, and I placed a 4 or 5 on here, I wouldn't get 3, I would only get 1 prestige point. Now at the end of the round too, I also get a point for every die that's on here. But that's basically how you do these. You do have to pay attention to the number that's on these rooms. So you'll want to try to pay attention to see what you can chain on with what you purchase on there. There's also a lot of bonuses at the end of the game for the different rooms that you get, but I'll show you that later. So once the bidding phase is over, to build, you're going to simply just, if you won the tile, you're going to place it in your area, and you have to match up the doorways. That's basically all you have to do. And you can never cover over the entrance because that's where the guests have to come in. The other players that didn't win the bid will each get a plus-minus token, and that's it for building. The next thing here you're going to be doing is advertising. So this orange player won. This site says you can move the house forward 2. They have 3 dice here, so they can move this die forward 3. It has to be the farthest to the left. So basically this die here won't move until this die is collected. This player here gets to move their house forward 1 and move this forward 2. Now every space that this covers, so this gave green 3 more points, so that puts them at 6. This one gave orange 6 points, so they'll score that here too. So and this one here, the white player here didn't get to get anything but a reroll token, so they'll get that, and they'll get to move their house forward 1. That's how those spots works. As the houses move across, you'll gain all the points that it crosses. If a die covers over a house or a house covers over a die, you gain that die and you can start moving the other one, and you'll get that one on future turns to roll. So that's pretty cool. All right, now we're going to get into reset for the round. Reset for the round, you're basically simply going to take back all your dice. The only exception on here, which isn't really exception, is every die that you return that was in your manor, you will also gain a prestige point, so you will move up. You will also clear out any of the tiles, or these are actually technically called blueprints, that weren't used or weren't claimed, and place out new ones, resetting it for the new round. You will also move the first player token over to the player to your left. You're ready to start the new round, starting with the first player. You're going to continue to do this until the end of the 4th round. So every round will be the same. At the end of the 4th round, you're going to give a final tour. You're going to have a nice little house at your for your final tour here, and you're going to roll your dice to see how much you can score in your final tour, and we'll show how that works. So this is the grand opening tour. You're going to roll all your unplaced dice. You're going to place them in little sets here, and you're going to go ahead and place them in your building. Now you have a pretty large building at that point. But you're going to be following the rules for the dice that are on here. You're going to try to place as many as you possibly can, and like on that chart there, you're going to gain more points by the more that you place out. You'll then re-roll your unplaced dice, place the whatever set number that you have out, and keep going until you run out of dice or you run out of rooms. Now, if I roll 2s here and I can't figure out how to place them, I don't have enough areas, and I lose the dice that I couldn't place, here I don't get to re-roll them. When I repeat, I will now have unhappy guests. They are not negative points per se, but they didn't gain me any points. And they also will work for tiebreakers, because unhappy guests, if you're tied, will be one of the ones that the person with the least unhappy guests will be the tiebreaker for that. But we'll go over the tiebreakers because there's several in a minute here. End of the game here, after that, you're going to do color majority. So you could get 12 points if you have the most of a color, 6 points if you have the second most. There's going to be tie breakers for those. Basically, if 2 people have the most, they're going to get 8 points each, and there's going to be no second place. If people are tied for second place, instead of the 6 points, they're going to get 4 prestige points each. So you'll do that for each of the colors, so there's 4 different colors. You're also going to do that for each magic room in your manor with 4 different colors connected to it. So this is a magic room. I have 2 colors attached to it, so I'd get 2 more points. And there's diversity bonuses too. So the diversity bonuses, I believe, are listed on here. Yeah, so If I have 4 different types in my area, I get 4 points, 5, 9, 6, 15. And leftover inspiration tokens, which are these little guys right here for the either plus, minus, or reroll. I will get 1 point for every 2 that are left over. The final bonus that you can get at the end of the game is for the largest manor. Whoever has the largest manor will gain 12 points. Whoever has the second most, 6. And ties are broken the same way. If 2 people have first, they're going to get 6 prestige each. And there won't be a second. If 2 people are tied for second, they'll get 4 each. So, winning the game, the person with the most prestige will win the game. Tiebreakers, the first one is going to be most rooms. Whoever has the most rooms will win. If you're still tied, fewest unhappy guests. If you're still tied, you share the victory. Couple notes are, these are actually 2 separate rooms, so don't forget that. They're different colors to help you notice that, but you get, when you buy that blueprint, you get 2 rooms, which is pretty cool. You will also notice that some of these have 4/5. That means you could put a 4 or 5. So you want to pay attention to that. So you're basically trying to chain these things so you can get the most points possible by placing out these dice. So in a real quick nutshell, that's going to be how you play Dice Manor. Let's go ahead back up to the table here and I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, so let's just start off with component quality. Component quality is great in this game. I like the dice. I like how they have the big bright numbers on them. I like the little wooden houses in there. I like all the big chunky wooden cubes, and not being small, because all the games will make them super small and I hate that. And I like the dual layer board that you get for the scoring track. That's really cool. I like just the component quality in general. The art on this game is also amazing for a game that doesn't really require that much art. The color picks that they did for the game really make each of the types of rooms stand out, so I do appreciate that a lot. You can, at a glance, see all the different rooms and see what the types are. And so component quality and graphics and iconography on this game is great. Now, the game itself is a Dice Tower Essential game, and in the past I've always liked the Dice Tower Essential games. I think they were really great picks and really great additions to libraries, and this is no exception. This game will also end up in my library, and I think it is a great game for in that line. Now, like most of those games, they're going to be family weight games, family weight-ish games, and this is also a family weight game. This game is very easy to teach, as you saw, and super easy to get new people into the hobby playing this game. Yet, there's a really good layer of strategy in this game. With where you place to bid your dice, when you give your tours, how you line things up for your final grand tour at the end of the game, what rooms you purchase. So many different things to think about and so many different avenues to take. Also, are you going to do your advertising and try to get your extra dice, also getting points as you advertise? So that'll give you more dice throughout the rest of the game. There's only 4 rounds, so if you're going to go that route, you're going to need to probably want to do that quickly so you can get the most out of that. Or are you going to focus on making a large banner, get those bonus points, maybe try to have the most of a color? All sorts of different decisions. And because this is an abstract game, because there's so many different decisions and so many different avenues for success in this game, there's a lot of different strategies you can use to win this game. And just in that makes the game amazing and adds to replayability of the game. I do feel that this game is going to make it a lot to the table because of that. And in games of this style, I'm really looking for multiple different valid strategies, and this has it. So that is incredibly important for me, and why it's going to be making it to my board game collection. So not only is this great for getting new players into the hobby or getting casual gamers a great game to the table to play, but it's also good for experienced gamers, as in it is a really cool puzzle on the different strategies you want to do and the different things you can do to gain those points. So it makes it very engaging. Especially when you're the bidding section, when you're bidding against the other opponents. Really cool dice mechanism for that on. It's not really the number on the dice, it's the quantity of the dice that matter. Unless there's a tie, like I said. But overall, I was very impressed and I really like this game. I am very impressed with all the Dice Tower Essential line games, and I'm really impressed with the games that Arcane Wonder keeps pumping out that are excellent. So that's my thoughts on Dice Manor. Thank you for watching.